I have mixed feelings about what's happening in Eretz Yisrael these days. Everywhere you walk, you see signs, Kahane Tzadak. Everywhere. I mean everywhere. And people are saying it. Kahane was right. Kahane Tzadak. I'm sure here in the States as well. And my feelings are mixed because on one hand, of course, Baruch Hashem, these people have finally woken up. Okay, it took them 30 years, but they woke up. Someone is Choser B'tshuva when he's 80 years old, HaKadosh Baruch Hu accepts him nonetheless. On the other hand, are they really being Choser B'tshuva, or are they just saying it because that's what's in? Israelis like to do what's in. And now Kahane Tzadak is in. It may last a week, it may last a month, I don't know. So there's this feeling, how should we react when all these Israelis are saying Kahane was right? And I've come to the conclusion that we have to be happy that they're saying it. After all, this is what we want them to say. We want them to understand what Kahane was all about and that Kahane was right. But my question is, do they really know, do we really know what Kahane was and is all about? So when an Israeli tells me Kahane Tzadak, I tell him two things. First of all, if you really mean it, you have to prove what you're saying to me. Number one, in your business and in your personal life, don't hire any Arabs whatsoever. Not to paint your house and not to fix your toilet and not to fix your electricity and not to be a worker or a mover. Don't hire any Arabs whatsoever. We'll see if you could live with this. What's this point of Kahane Tzadak? Do we really understand what Kahane is all about? And I wanted to just bring up 2 points to try to figure out if we really understand what Kahane was all about. Most people, if you ask them, what does it mean, Kahane? They'll tell you, Aravim achutza. Arabs get out. That's really what they mean when they say Kahane Tzadak, that he was right, the Arabs should get out of Israel. But do they understand why he said it? As Rabbi Berg said, it's all in the Parsha. This week's Parsha, we have the first transfer of Arabs. This week's Parsha, the first one. It was done by a radical extremist called Sarah Imenu. She said to Abraham, I cannot allow my son Yitzchak to be raised in the same home as Yishmael. Get him out of the house. Now, Yishmael was Abraham's son. And he loved Sarah, but he loved his son. He couldn't do it. And that's understandable that he couldn't do it. He was full of chesed. He was chesed. He was kindness. How could he throw his own son out of the house? Hashem tells him, ladies, and it was only in this case, whatever your wife says, listen to her. So he throws Yishmael out of the house. Rav Kahane explains this in his wonderful Sefer Ohar Rayon in the chapter Tov V'Ra, Good and Evil. What was going through Abraham's mind? He couldn't do it because he saw this as being a bad thing. He is kulo chesed, and this was kulo ra, all evil. And Hashem said, no, my friend, my dear son Abraham, in this case, driving Yishmael out is chesed. Driving Ishmael out is the good thing to do. It's not out of hatred that you're driving him out. It's not because, I don't know what, it's because that's the good thing to do. He is inherently evil. Yitzchak is inherently good. And you cannot have good and evil in the same cholent. You cannot have spoiled milk and good milk in the same cup. You have spoiled milk, get it out. And therefore he told Abraham that in this case it is chesed to drive out Yishmael. And this is what Rav Kahane was talking about when he said Aravim achutza. Not that he hates them. He always says, I wish them well elsewhere. The point is, it's chesed. If you really love Jews, then you drive out the Arabs. And all these Israelis that are saying Kahane Tzadak, do they really understand that after we drive out the Arabs, we drive out the Armenians, and we drive out the Christians, and we drive out the pornography, and we drive out all of the evil that goes with it? This is Kahane Tzadak.